So the Crash minigame is actually, I think, still at an early stage compared with Douyin in 2023.
What am I watching?
What am I looking at?
Is this a UA creative or what is it?
It's something probably accurate. It's one of the hottest memes
AI
in
made
Kuaishou.
Chinese mythic
And,
beasts.
Yeah, that's the Italian brain rot one. Yep.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they made this video into the minigame.
It's 4 a.m. and we're rolling the dice. Matej drops knowledge made of gold and ice. Felix with ads making those coins rise. Jakub designs worlds chasing the sky. We're the 2.5 gamers, the midnight crew. Talking UA adverts and game design too. Matej, Felix Jakub bringing the insight. We're rocking those vibes till the early daylight. Matej, UA, master eyes on the prize. Tracking data through the cyberspace skies. Felix stacks dollars like a wizard in disguise. Jakub's crafted realms lift us to the highs. 2.5 gamers talking smack. Slow hockey stick, got your back. Ads are beautiful, they light the way. Click it fast, don't delay.
This is 2.5 Gamers. Another special episode. We only have special episodes so far, so we continue with this. My name is Matej.
I'm Felix Broberg.
We are your hosts, and we have a special guest. Hello. Can you introduce
Hi,
yourself?
this is Chen Yang from Cocos. I had been a developer for more than 10 years and also a publisher for about 5 years. Now I'm doing ecosystem operation in Cocos.
Nice. Well, and today we're going to talk about mini games in China because this topic is full of insights, and this is exactly what we're going to dive into today. So buckle up. This is going to be very interesting. I can't wait.
Okay, let's begin. So first, let me introducing something about like Cocos. So Cocos currently is the largest cross-platform and open source 3D engine in China. Currently, we have probably like 1.7 million developers using the Cocos. Probably 40% of them are outside China, most from the United States and Canada, some from the Indian and the European countries. So our device coverage has been more than 2.1 billion, and about 54% of the minigame in China are made with Cocos Creator, and also about 20% of the Android game are using Cocos as well.
That 20% Android means Android games in China or Android overall?
Oh, hello. Hello there. I didn't see you. Thank you very much for coming to this episode. It's brought to you by our sponsors, PVX Partners, the simplest and most effective credit line for marketing. If you're scaling your business and need funding, here's the deal. With PVX Partners, you can grow your game easily and your business. There's no equity dilution. You can repay as you get paid, and it's flexible, fast, and fully tailored to your growth. So you can secure funding in 30 days and get a term sheet in just 24 hours. Don't you wait. Take control of your UA budget without giving away a piece of your company. Visit pvxpartners.com and see how they can help you grow your game faster and stronger. Don't wait. Go to pvxpartners.com.
Most like worldwide, because I count the Cocos 2DX as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see there's a lot of classic games like the Legend of the Mushroom, the Top War, also the Street Fighter, the King of Fighter, the Clash of Kings. Like all of those games are made with Cocos Creator.
Sheep.
Of course.
Yeah, the sheep shape. The most well-known the casual game. Yeah. So first, I'll introducing the marketing trends for the minigame in China. We have seen the minigame industry in China has reached about $5.6 billion in 2024. So it has a potential to break through $6.5 billion in 2025. So in this industry, Cocos have contributed more than 55% of the minigame to this industry in China.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining this episode. Our sponsor, Fast Spring, has delivered D2C at scale for over 20 years. They power top mobile publishers around the world and are reliably fast-growing, profitable, and very financially secure. So FastSpring isn't just figuring out D2C on the heels of the recent VC investment. Their developer-first platform and deep gaming and payment expertise have helped democratize global commerce for over 2 decades. As no drama D2C partner with real-world experience at scale, FastSpring is a partner that you can trust with your players. To quickly launch a new web store, replace an existing D2C vendor, or just add redundant D2C vendor at fastspring.gg. Thank you very much, guys, for sponsoring this episode. Now let's get back to the content. Bye-bye.
We can also say, due to the decline of the world economy, all the global mobile games actually is declining this year, and also affect the China mobile game. China mini game is growing really rapidly from 2021 to 2022, and also there's a big step from $0.7 billion to $2.8 billion I'll introducing in this page. So there are two reasons why China mini game is growing so rapidly from 2022 to 2023. The first reason is because of the IP. So we can say most of the revenue actually from the IP instead of the IA. The IA in 2022 is about 61.2% of all the revenue, but it's declining to only 31.3%. So which means most of the revenue is actually from the IP instead of the IA. And so the IA represents many opportunities in future because it doesn't require an ISBN. And another thing, I think for this year, the ECPM or the revenue from the IA is growing really fast because we see a little signal the economy is getting better in 2024. So if the ECPM is getting better, if there are more advisors, the IA will take more share in the future.
Yeah, just a little bit wait there, just so we understand, because some people not familiar with this. So games that are running only on ads without in-app purchases don't require pretty much government approval. That's the ISBN number, so you can release them freely and don't need to wait. Yep. And there's still a big problem for current games to be released if they have in-app purchases.
So there are two different ISBN. So the first one is for the casual game. Currently, for the casual game ISBN, usually the time for the app delivery is roughly about 5 months. But if it's a hardcore game, something like an ARPG or the SLG, the 4X game, it usually takes more than 1 year for the hardcore game.
But for the casual game, get approval. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's two different camps, different
which
types
is not guaranteed that you will get an approval, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If it's a game from outside China, the average time may be 1.5 years for the overseas game. So we can see the market, it's already, I'll say the WeChat minigame probably the biggest fish in the market, then followed by the Douyin, the OEM, the manufacturer, minigame store, then followed by the Alipay, the Kuaishou, and the Meituan, and then the others. So why China minigame really huge? Since China has 1.4 billion population, so which include nearly 600 million monthly active minigame users. So that is really huge. So it's creating a massive single market opportunity. So for example, like Douyin and Alipay may have probably about each of them probably have 800 to 900 million MAU for each application. So the MAU is actually bigger than the population of some small countries.
Just for people to know, Douyin is the Chinese version of TikTok.
Douyin is a Chinese version TikTok. And unlike many regions, China's Android ecosystem like the Google Play phase, so allowing the developer to keep the higher revenue from the super application. And on another thing, we have probably the world leading mobile payment system like the WeChat Pay, the Alipay. It also drives strong user spending and seamless monetization, which means you don't have to use the Apple Pay, you don't have to use you need to use the iOS Pay since they have the agreement with iOS. You still currently for the Douyin and for Alipay and for WeChat, like for most of the game, you still have to pay the Apple fee. But for Android, totally no Google Play fee at the moment.
So it's pretty much like all IP purchases are direct to consumer, you mean?
Yeah, but not really. It's depending on the game. Depending on two conditions, it's IP or IA. If you buy the traffic from the application, if you buy the traffic from application, you can get more, probably like percentage of the revenue from the application on the consumer side. So it's a little bit complicated. So it's roughly like 50 to 50. You get a 50% of revenue from the super application or the manufacturer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if I let's say if I pay like $100 in Whiteout Survival on WeChat, Century Games get 50%.
Yeah. But if the user is from the traffic buy, you get a 70 or more. So this is some data from Cocos. We can see like in China, more developers actually building the mini game. Like it's more than the combination of the Android plus the iOS. And we can see the mini game currently represent like more than half our build distribution. In this data is from August and September, so it's demonstrating like significant market validation. Like more people they are building the mini game, so that's probably why they don't want to publish their games in like outside China, especially for the mini game, because there are tons of the super application like Douyin, Alipay, Meituan, and Kuaishou. And in this year, there will be a super application like decide they will go for the mini game market like every quarter. Like for example, like we get the Migu game, and we also have a lot of rumors and more super applications that will open their mini game centers in this year. So this is something different like between China and global. So first for the traffic, most of the traffic in China actually from the social application and the app store. We can see this is OEM app store from Huawei and also the long tail traffic. But outside China, actually most of the traffic is from the long tail traffic. So this is OEM store. Like in Europe, we can see a small mini game icon. It's probably something like Poke or Crazy Game. And for the monetization, as I introduced before, probably almost 70% of the revenue is from the IAP and the rest from the IA. But for the global market, I think more than 90% of the revenue is from the IA. For the platform, they're using a technique we call the runtime. It's an SDK to allow the mini game to run with the higher performance and with the higher security levels. But for the global, I think most of the platform is using the H5, which is WebView only. For the content, I think most of the Chinese, I'll say it should be SLG, MMO, or the idle game. But for the global, most of the games are casual or hyper casual. For the developer, I think most of the games that really makes money are made by the major company. But for the global, most are the indie or the small teams.
Because
let's
go back there one slide. So if you say global, what do you mean as for like which store? Like how should I define that the difference between global and China?
I prefer probably the Poke, the Crazy Game, the Yandex store, also the game distribution.
So like other mini games platforms outside of China.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
which was
we
the
all
biggest
know
problem,
like
casual, hyper casual versus the actual Forex and like the heavyweight games.
The Facebook instant game.
Yeah.
So this something a little bit different about the technique. So the mini game runtime is actually SDK. So it's providing a sandbox for the script and another window for the rendering. It could be providing something like for the higher performance and the high coverage and also the low cost. So what's the most important Chinese super application they're using the runtime is about the controllability. So they're using the runtime to control the payment to avoid the mini game. Sometimes in the web view, they may cut the payment, they may cut the ads, they may replay the payment with their own, they may replay the advertisement with their own ID. So that's one of the biggest reason. Another big reason is they cooperating with Cocos and they cooperating with Unity. So they providing some like engine features in the runtime as well, providing a much higher performance. And this is some of the major platforms in China and global. First, I'm talking about the OEM, the manufacturer. The first one is Huawei. They have two style. The first one is for their Android style, the Huawei Android phone. Another one is for the Harmony OS, their newest operating system. So it's growing really rapidly. So followed by the OPPO and the Vivo minigame style, then followed by the Mi and the Honor. It's a new OEM style last year. And then followed by the social application. I want to mention something about the QQ. Do we know the QQ actually closed their own minigame in May this year? So all the QQ minigame are replaced with a WeChat minigame. So the Tencent just maintained one ecosystem this year. There's no more QQ. So followed by the Douyin, the Taobao. Taobao is the biggest shopping application in China. Then the Alipay, the Meituan. It's a lifestyle application by the Kuaishou, which is a Chinese version of the KY. Then we have the Migu last year. Migu is the application from the China Telecom. So it's the biggest telecom company in China. But for the global applications, we also say like Index have their own application with like millions of users already, then followed by TikTok. We all had a rumor like TikTok will have their minigame center soon, probably by the end of this year. And Discord followed by the YouTube. I think this should be probably be the Google minigame, since Google already has their minigame in Google Play already, but there are no monetization yet. Then followed by the Telegram. Telegram is a mix of the Web3 and Web2 by the Index, also by the KY game. Yeah. For the H5 website, as I introduced before, we have the Poke, the create game, and game distribution, followed by the game snacks. So we can say, like outside China, all the global application and all the H5 website, they are using the web view instead of the runtime. So probably for two reasons. First, they need to share the revenue with Google and with the iOS. So they need to let the manufacturer know what exactly happened inside their application. So web view will be clear to the manufacturer. If you're using a sandbox, they don't know what script you're using like inside the sandbox. So it's dangerous for Google Play and the iOS. If you're using the sandbox for iOS, you couldn't get your application list in iOS. It's very hard.
By the way, can you just roughly say, if you go to China, like the main stores there, like what's the percentage share of the market? Like which one is just like, oh, you were there already, like I mean like in the
I like to say the biggest, probably 80% of the revenue is from the WeChat, followed by the Douyin, which is TikTok China, then followed by the Alipay and the Kuaishou, which is Kawaii China, then probably by the Meituan, it's a lifestyle application, then probably Taobao and the Migu.
So WeChat 80% still.
The WeChat is the largest, 80.
Yep, okay.
80%. Then followed by the Douyin and OEM stores.
And which of these UA networks are the largest in China? Like where do you buy the users?
It's quite complicated. It's quite interesting.
That's what we like.
First, I think for the UA, probably 60% from the WeChat, which is Tencent AD system, the rest from the Ocean engine. The Ocean engine is owned by Douyin, which means actually you can buy the WeChat minigame traffic from Douyin system as well. But the Douyin, they gave a lot of benefit for their traffic loop. If you're buying the traffic from Ocean engine to Douyin minigame, you get more benefit. So for last year, like most of the Ocean engine traffic, UA for minigame is actually leading to WeChat. But for this year, I think more higher and higher percentage is in the Douyin system's loop. They don't want the UA outside the Douyin system.
Interesting.
Introducing later in the Douyin section.
Yep, okay. Go ahead.
So I'll talking about the ecosystem chain. So first I'll talking about the IP So these are two leaderboard. So the first one is for the IP game. The second one is for the IA game. It's quite interesting. We can say like most of the revenue is from the IAP. And in this year, I like to say more than 70% of revenue comes from the IP. And we also have a data that shows WeChat minigame has the largest developer or the user base right now. And on the other hand, probably most developers, they only publish IA games only, so which indicates two things. So most of the developers, they only build IA, but most of the revenue is actually from the IP. That makes sense. And another thing is like the minigame IP revenue is actually into the APP game income. So which means the minigame revenue in the IP is growing slowly in the next 5 years because it's already reached a limit. It eats most of the consumer cost on the IP from the APP game. So that's why it's really growing so rapidly these 2 years, because WeChat providing a really good ecosystem for the users and developers. For the top game, which I heard, the retention is almost as the same as the APP game in the WeChat.
So can we go back there once again so I
So
understand?
this is about the attachment and also the gameplay from the Three Kingdoms.
Mhm.
So I'll say the most represented game, probably the S-World Three Kingdom, is being one of this year's longest running top grossing minigame. So beyond the endless winter, I'll say probably the White Knight, like in the like all titles are entering the WeChat's revenue charts, and many games are either clan war gameplay later or the SLG like. Since SLGs often deliver the highest long-term LTV.
So
So
if I
there
understand,
are a
this
lot
is
of games. They are adding the clan war, they are adding the SLG playmaster at the very end of the game to improve the long LTV for their games.
yeah. So this is still Forex where River Game is competing with Century Games. Yep.
So give me a second. So I'll talk about the TikTok. So TikTok revenue is really surging this year because most of the revenue comes from the IP now. It's for two reasons. So first, we are focusing in the IP game, giving the more placement and more entry point for the mini game and the IPs. They aiding the coding stats and the retention. Because for the last year, the retention for the IP is really bad in the TikTok, in the Douyin, probably only 50% of the WeChat retention compared with the WeChat. And another way, as I mentioned before, they improved the buy AD system, which is the Ocean Engine. They gave the better optimization. They gave the better like IP support and the AD payouts for the IP game. So we can say that most of the games in the top 50 revenue chart on the Douyin overclass with WeChat.
Nice.
So there's another thing. Douyin also have the QR rewarding task. So it's a key part of the Douyin traffic system. We all know like Douyin or the TikTok China is actually the largest short video application. It's one key part is our QR rewarding task. So for one of the Billboard clans, a top performing video could drive the best play, and the conversions can earn probably 1,700 rewards for one video. So the video roughly got like 17,000 likes, roughly about 170 views. So by the end of the 2024, Douyin have integrated the publisher program into the Ocean Engine as well. So the Alipay, so this is some screenshots of the video from the Legend of Mushroom. I can say the payment is really seamless by using the Alipay payment system. So they got the seamless Alipay integration. They have the instant Alipay payment system. I think it's probably the fastest payment ever for the minigame. Less than 5 seconds from the pay to getting the reward in the game. Another one, they also have their own IA advantage. They have the Taobao extensive the e-commerce side. And another thing, they just hear a lot of stuff from the WeChat and the Tencent system. So they copy the exactly top game from the WeChat. So they just featuring all the top game on the WeChat. You can see they got the game from the 37 game. They got the top word and the SRG looks exactly like the WeChat mini game leaderboard. So they also have something like a little different from the WeChat. So the Alipay mini game link the casual play to payments and shopping player own system. So the player, they can earn from the gameplay and task and redeem the point into the coupon across the Alipay or the Taobao system. So the Alipay creating a reward to purchase loop that increase the retention and also the transaction while generating data for their targeted promotion. So for example, if I play the game for 3 levels, I got something like 30 coins. If I finish 5 gameplay, I got 30 coins. I can redeem the coins for some coupons. So I'll talk about the OEM minigame growth. So OEM a little bit different. So this is top world China. We can say you can instant access from the icons. And also they providing like more entries, like integrate with their system or the OS features. They integrate at the hardware levels, so which enhance the performance and reduce the overheating. Another thing, they're giving the more entries. So this is the OS entry, like browser search, the game center, the same events, the desktop icons, also the cards and global search. So you can find the minigame everywhere in the operating system. And another thing, which I heard from the OEM, they're giving like more features, something like the floating window for the idle game. You can idle in a game while surfing the short videos, and probably more edge AI features in the future. You can use the edge AI feature, for example, from the MediaTek or the Snapdragon chips using the LM, the large language model, or the image generation from the system feature or the chip features in the future. So Crasher is quite interesting. So the Crasher minigame is actually, I think, still at the early stage compared with Douyin in 2023.
What am I watching?
What am I looking at?
Is this a UA creative or what is it?
It's something probably accurate. It's one of the hottest memes
Yeah, I
in
made
Kuaishou.
Chinese mythic beasts.
Yeah, that's the Italian brain rot one. Yep.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they made this video into the minigame.
Wow,
They made something like a runner game, and a lot of casual game are
that's
made
amazing.
based on this video. And we can see a large portion of their user is actually from probably third or the fourth tier of the cities. So the rustic memes are very popular. And another thing, I think the operation are quite looser, and there are many kids mini game. The things we can see the leaderboard, there are a lot similar games on the leaderboard. So they say something you can see are made from this video. It's a AI made Chinese like mythic beast meme.
And that's a game,
It's quite awkward from YouTube. But on the other hand, Crasher has more like male users. Probably more than 60% of the users are male users. So it's a really good option for the mid-core IA and the retro IP. Sorry, it should be the IAP. It's really good for the IP UA. So I'll talking something about Meituan. Meituan is the largest Chinese lifestyle app, including the food delivery, travel, and all the local service you can find. So this is the user center. You can find all the minigame is actually integrated into the user center. There are 3 kingdoms. There are, I like to say, like a lot of top games from WeChat. So the mini games are actually connect with the Meituan's rewarding system. The user can earn and spend the coins on the food delivery on the local system. They can make on the coin by playing the game. And there are a lot of mini games. They have something like the food mini game. They can earn the real food from the from the casual full game. So the many Meituan users are the regular player for the lifestyle service, so which lowering the barrier for the in-game purchase. So the IP revenue has grown really quickly since there are no barrier for the purchaser payment. They need to spend the money every day for all the service since all the service are now free in the application. So they feel they to pay in the IP.
And how much does Meituan charge from IAPs? Is it 50%, 30%?
Yeah, still 50-50, but they get a lot rewarding for the UA. If you get the UA from their UA system, probably you get more like percentage.
Do they
Do I
publish that, or like is it just is it secret? So if you spend like more than
It's
X,
not.
then you get a better...
They will give you like a bonus. It depending on the amount of the money.
Do I get it? That is basically a giant offer wall, then like you get stuff back and everything.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it should be the similar thing. If you buy more UA, if you top up more UA, you get something like bonus reward, probably like 3 to 5%, depending on the amount of money you buy for the UA.
Okay.
Amazing.
So there are some like mini games guide in China. I'll just like category probably like 4 types of game. So first, for the super casual game, I like to say it's not good for the Chinese meme game. It need very hairy memes. So you can see the memes in China is quite different from the memes in TikTok or the Facebook or the Instagram. You also need a lot of localization and content swipe for this kind of game. So for the runner game or for the stickman select game, you need to change not only the memes, but also the game contents. And we also have very restrict package size. So the recommendation IA package size should be smaller than 30 megabytes. So the IA for the super casual, I would say it's possible the low margins and really high risk. So what I reckon is like this is like needs master and also the catch goose is which is 3D, which is 3D casual game in China. These kinds of game are really scale this year. It can scale where the IA without ISBN, but still require with a lot optimized levels. I like to say the top 3 needs game in WeChat probably has more than 1,000 levels already. You also need a lot like culture localization and the smooth performance and also the monetization for the AD as well. So this is like this game like the Bang Survivor. I think it should be the name. Another one is Legend of the Mushroom. So both 2 games are have really good revenue both in China and outside China. So I like to say TD, the tower defense or the idle game are good fit for the short loops. And also it's good for the mixed monetization, including probably 70 from the IP, the rest from the IA, but there are a lot of challenges for the performance. For example, for the Bang Survivors, you need to optimize for the low-tier mobile phone, probably iPhone 7 or the iPhone 8. You need to dealing with probably thousands how to allow the user's mobile phone to run with 60 FPS with thousands of the bullets, how the monster is still a lot of work. And the last thing is for the 4X, the SRG or the RPG. I don't really recommend it for the global market to try. It need a lot localization, a lot the OP cost, and also you really need to find a top local publisher to get you ISBN approved. Otherwise, the trail and the arrow costs are really burning, I like to say.
Basically, if you're not a Chinese Forex company, don't even try.
Yeah, I recommend it. This year I went to Shanghai. There's a lot of rumor to say the foreign company that they have the developers, have the staff in China, they can get the treatment as a Chinese company for the ISBN. I asked a few officers, this policy are not guaranteed yet. So there's no guarantee for the ISBN policy in Shanghai yet. There's a rumor area where a lot of foreign, like US asked me, could I get the ISBN treatment like same as a Chinese company. If I open a company in Shanghai, I say not yet, probably next year or the year of next year.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're a big Western company opening a local shop in China, you still don't get the IBU in 2 years.
It's still something like quite tricky. You just don't like people know you are a foreign company.
Of course. Okay.
But it's quite tricky and risky. If your game get reported, you may lose of the revenue from the platform and also lost the ISBN you buy from other Chinese company.
Yeah, thanks for sharing a lot. Like, been very, very insightful.
Thank you.
If you can just say like where people can reach you, or like if they're looking for you, like how can they contact you, or like what would be the best way to get in touch with you?
Okay, people can find my information from the website, the Nubikai. So this is my WeChat account. There's also my email in this website as well.
Mhm.
You can find you can also get I'll also write my emails. So this is my personal emails.
Yeah, we add
also,
the links to the show notes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Feel free. I will write stories most about how to fare the developers with you, agent.
Okay. Any other words, Matej?
All good, all good, all good. Thank you very much for listening, guys, and also thanks for coming on the podcast. Please, if you like the episode, comment in the comment section, join the Slack channel, and I hopefully see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.